something, but they don't know what. This is more than just memory. It affected written records as well. Scholars have noted that even in books, context of something that's being said will completely shift, like an entire section of the book is just gone. But instead of like there being like a big blank spot on a page, text has just rewrapped to pretend like it was always there, even though there's no bridge between like this paragraph and that paragraph, or even this sentence and the next. Like whatever this forgotten thing was that hit the entire world is more. It encompasses anything and everything. Basically, it has been the root of a socioeconomic collapse in districts across the world. Because the world is one giant city, civilization is focused in districts. They're basically like mega cities. If you've ever seen Judge Dredd, they build up, they build out, and then there will be like where a given district's capability of legally enforcing law and civilization fails. It's like urban decay to ruins to eventually building up to another city's urban decay, ruins, and then their district walls type thing. So basically there's not a whole lot of nature left on the surface of this world, but there is what's called rumble belts or rumble strips, huge, vast, empty, abandoned cities. If you've ever been to Detroit and like seen like the urban downtown that hasn't been fixed up yet, it's kind of like that. And then, for those that aren't familiar with the magic setting, this is a quick rundown on the guilds. You guys can see that, right? Nope, that didn't drag.
Nope, we're still on the haze.
There
It's
we go.
shifting now.
Now you can.
Yeah.
So I know I kind of mentioned I added a bit of my own spin on some of the guilds. So, because this is common knowledge, I just want to make sure you know where we're coming from.
I do. I would like to know if you've actually like thrown both of those things into our journals so we can read them.
I should totally do that. I will figure out how to do that.
Okay.
When we're done tonight. That way we can keep going.
Sweet.
Also, if you want to put it on our website, we can do that too.
Yes, we can do that too, because you've got a cool website that I always forget exists. So, the big stab of things that's different from the traditional setting is that I'm kind of incorporating Shadowrun elements, but the guilds are kind of run like corporations. So, This is important because of the whole socioeconomic collapse. When the guilds are deciding that a district is no longer fiscally beneficial to support and maintain a presence in, the guilds are pulling out, and that basically invites the Groll hordes to come in and just say, reclamation efforts and like cause havoc, kill, and destroy everything that they can, and ruin a civilization where they can. So, that brings us to... I'm going to get the hang of this.
Eventually.
And switch you. I just wanted to switch me as well. So, Mr. Scott, would you please do me the honor of being a newscaster for the moment?
Welcome to Hot Page News, a District 54 media broadcast production. Our final broadcast is brought to you by our unbiased and ungilded sponsors at the SIG Mining Consortium in District 10. And yes, they are hiring. For those of you just joining us, District 54 is on the verge of collapse. How you ask? It's hard to say precisely where things went wrong, but Azorius officials are blaming the unprecedented Rakdos labor strikes in precincts 13 and 11 as the spark that lit the fires of our doom. The ensuing riotous bloodshed that choked our streets, the smoke pillars rising into the skies from the countless block fires, and perhaps the most calamitous, the rush on St. Castian's Cathedral Bank, inspiring the Orzhov to lock down all financial institutions across the district. General Ducat's institution of martial law proved inadequate at the face of the Azorius peacekeepers being overrun, and they've been jointly giving ground ever since. This morning, in a joint press conference, the local Celestia Conclave, Izzet Corp 54, Golgari Agricultural and Waste Management Services District 54, and Simic Biotech 54 all announced that they were withdrawing from District 54 until such times as the Boros Legions could restore order. Explosions rocked the city again for 2 hours straight. Groll terrorists taking credit and promising imminent culling. Our sources at St. Cassian's have leaked that the Orzhov Cathedral remains on lockdown despite the arrival of 8 skyships illegally docking at its highest spires. Experts believe that Orzhov is following the example of the other guilds and is evacuating. Boros Sky Knights report Grolhards will be in the district wall within hours and will find insufficient opposition to break their assault. For those of you waiting in line for the lightning rails or hoping to secure passage on one of the remaining sky ships, our thoughts and prayers are with you. It has been an honor, nay a privilege, to bring you the news for the past century.
So that broadcast is all over billboards throughout the city. There is mass riots and chaos everywhere, as you may have seen from one of the images that I brought up during the newscast. Fires are everywhere. There's been explosions all over the place. People are, any way they can get out of the city, they're getting out of the city if they can, even figure it out. Going out into the wilds is ill-advised and difficult due to the lack of anything above simple weapons being legal to carry, although in the current chaos, you've probably seen more than a few people breaking that law because all the police are a little busy right now. In the grand scheme of get out before the Gruul hordes come and wreak havoc and kill everyone they can and destroy everything they can, the group of players that we have here have managed to work their way to a nearby skyport where there are still rumors of a few captains looking to take on crew because they may have lost crew in the riots and Rakdos cult events in the past few nights. Some of these skyships don't even have enough people to get off the ground, so it may be you might be able to, secure a good deal since there's enough bodies of you working together to convince a captain, perhaps, or if you want to try and broker passage. Either way, the skyport, think the tavern in Mos Eisley, pretty well captures the kind of seedy atmosphere, but a little busier because everyone's trying to find a way out. If you guys want to kind of describe yourselves and if you guys are showing up together or separately or however you want to do that, I will give you guys the stage.
Okay, well, I think Note and Martine are probably together because we were probably doing some sort of research and it's like, oh shit, we got to get out of here.
Yeah. And I assume wherever I am, Decca's probably with me.
Yeah.
So I guess
You're
we'll
assistant,
start.
so I have to be with you.
Poor thing.
All right. So I guess the three of us will start. Martine is a half-elf. She has light bluish skin and teal hair, because she's actually a half-sea elf. She's got a bag of holding on one hip and her alchemist pouch on the other. Little bandolier of tiny little bottles for potions all over her waist and shoulder. And standing right next to Note.
Right. And Note is the glory name for she's a tiefling. She's got if you've ever seen the really red, dark brown dirt, she's got that kind of red tone to her with dark hair and the sclera eyes. She is a anthropologist, chiefly, as she describes herself, but in this context as a class, she's a bard. Specializes in researching through other cultures what is the event, as she calls it, and is completely obsessed with it. Hired on Martine to reverse engineer traps at digs as need be to get through tombs and things like that. And pretty much always is traveling with her assistant Decca.
Yeah. So Decca is a warforge, pretty unknown to this world, and basically is Note's assistant from a gift from her family, because they really don't know how sentient warforges are, so they just automatically assumed that I was just a automated golem. And I'm a wizard, so.
And Martine is constantly pestering Decca about what he is, because she is fascinated by Decca.
And Note is just happy to have someone to help with research. She couldn't care less. The specifics are irrelevant. There you go.
So next we got Scott and Terry. One of you guys want to go next?
Sorry, Terry, what's your character's name? Because I figured me and you would probably be together. Girl.
Crawl.
Okay, Crawl. So Rehoboth is a human. Significant burns all across his face. Mainly on the left side. They're healing now. Not particularly... They don't look pretty, but it looked like they probably were life-threatening when they were there, whenever they happened. I'd imagine Krull is the reason why Rehoboth is still alive at this point. Rehoboth is very accident-prone. But he keeps his head down. Ish for a Rakdos. I mean, he's a Rakdos, so he's always about making a show. But he's basically in this. He has a fedora on, a sleeveless tailcoat, and the colors of his troop on his lapel. Are we on the Sky platform? Is that what's going on?
That are walking into the cantina that's kind of just there by the Sky platform.
Okay.
Think of it like there's literally like a bar right off of the port for captains to, R&R after flights supposedly, but, today they're drinking before as well.
Rehoboth needs to get out, but he is going to be looking for somebody he knows, basically. Somebody that might, one of his, the people he deals to, one of the people who might owe him a favor, one of the people he might owe a favor to, all trying to get himself and Kroll out of there.
All right. Kroll, you want to let everyone know what they see for you?
So it all depends on when you guys have actually seen me, but you guys know that I'm healed for hire. Most of the time you'll see my face covered with my hair, but if you do see my face, you see different things. I got scars and different things. You'll see my teeth protruding. I definitely mouth breather. If I get close enough to you, my scent changes depending on what's going on. But you guys know that I get uncomfortably close, especially the longer I work with you guys. I'm taller than I actually look. I'm most of the time usually hunched over, and then you won't really see my face. But like I said, you see parts of my teeth protruding partially, and my hair is over my face.
What race are you?
Shifter.
Shifter. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, if we're on the Sky platform, we could probably talk to one of the captains of the ships to see if we could maybe get in as engineering crew.
Kind of what I was thinking.
There definitely are a few actively, look like they're looking through the crowds, to find someone of interest. You'll note probably two of those captains that are not interested, that are literally just enjoying their drinks at the bar, are wearing Boros Legionnaire uniforms, and there are in fact two military craft here. But all of the other ones appear to be independent shipping transport craft. They're smaller. Odds are, if they're still here, they're probably of the smuggling variety, but they're not going to broadcast that.
Right.
I would say, is anybody other than just seeing this? Does anybody have anything specific they're looking for in potential captains?
So Martine is going to actually point to probably the seediest looking captain. And go, he looks nice. Let's go talk to him.
Fair enough.
I like his coat.
That actually even narrows it down even more. Thank you. So,
Okay.
basically,
You know what? Sure. Yeah, why not?
you are approaching what looks these two men here, as imaged. They look exactly like what you see. They both look relatively human. Oh, we
Okay.
lost somebody.
We lost Terry.
Terry, it froze. He's trying again.
Poor Terry. All right, he'll catch up. So, despite looking seedy, I mean, the captain is wearing quite a bit of gaudy jewelry, so it doesn't look like he's terribly poor, which bodes well. The man stacking next to him sees your approach and leans into the captain and is quite visibly probably not saying something supportive of the group of people approaching.
I
So
can't
this
imagine
definitely makes sense because Martine is probably skipping up to them.
Yeah, that fits perfectly with the opinion that Bosun Silver has.
Not so much skipping, but I'm going with. Let's go say hi.
Deca will look at Martine skipping and will look around and be like, and start following, skipping. Maybe that's normal.
So yeah.
No, it's definitely just smiling to herself like she's just really happy and following them, but not skipping, but following them.
So Rayovoth is not part of this. Like he actually probably he has a decent passive perception of 15, so he probably notices Martine, who he knows.
Sure.
But he's not going to go directly up to her, especially if she's going up to a captain. Noticing the Boros, he'll go to the bar. He'll order himself like the Ravnica equivalent of whiskey or tequila or vodka, something strong, and then he will also order the Boros agents, like again the Ravnica's equivalent of like a Shirley Temple,
a virgin one or an alcohol?
a virgin one.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm making notes of that.
And just kind of as soon as they get the drink, he'll do one of these things.
They will definitely raise their glass in thanks, saluting you, and turn to each other and go to drink them. One of them proceeds to immediately spit it out, coughing and gagging. And the other one kind of like raises it up, like appreciatively, like he's trying to figure out what it is and that he really likes this drink. So you've got completely mixed results there, one of each.
I was more going for the first one than the second one.
That tells you something about the soldiers that you've just spoken to.
But and then I'm going to patiently wait for whatever goes on. If it looks like the group, the three of them, are not doing well, he's going to prepare to punch the second in the face. But he's not moving yet. He wants to see how this goes down. He has an in with Martine. I'm assuming he doesn't have an in with these two. So,
Gotcha. Well, Martine and company. The captain basically just stares you down as you approach. He doesn't make any move to leave or go whatever, but you do have his attention. And,
Okay.
His bosun, which you probably don't know that term yet, the person standing next to him is kind of doing one of those, really? Like, you're going to do this? But the captain is ready to let you have your say.
All right. Hello, Captain. Notice that a lot of the ships on this skyport are missing some crew. I am a great artificer and might be able to help with your engines or something like that. And my two companions might be able to assist you as well. We are looking to work our way to another district.
The captain kind of looks at the two of you, looks at the robot, for a lack of a better word.
I offer the most
Kind
charming
of really
smile.
does one of those, like that's kind of impressive looking gesture. And then looks at Silver and he says, "What do you think?" Silver says, "I already told you what I think. But," and he stops and he looks, "You said you're an engineer. Can you
Yes.
fire a ballista?"
Yes, I certainly could.
Yeah?
Do
What
that.
about these two? Are they good for anything?
I think Deca might be able to assist me with ballistas and other heavy things. I know that Note is great at
Translating.
At translating, so I'm certain that you're getting a lot of different people here that maybe don't speak the common language.
I could open the pool a little bit wider for anybody who you want to hire who you may not be able to communicate with who could do things like fire a ballista.
Right. Well, that does require organization, I suppose, Captain. He clearly is.
How convenient organization's my forte.
The captain kind of looks at the three of you. He says, "Do you actually have a specific destination in mind, or just out of here?"
I just whispered something to you, Chester. FYI. On roll 20.
Well, I think we needed to turn in notes regarding our last job. But really, just so long as we get out of here, we should be able to find our way to her academy.
Just the three of you?
Well, unless Rovoth shows up, that's someone that I know that might be really pretty useful at dealing with some of the seedier elements. But I haven't seen him around.
So he's good in a scrap, you're saying?
Oh, he's really good in a scrap.
And Silver looks at the captain and says, "I mean, if we take boarders, every hand's gonna help."
Did you see my thing on roll 20? Because at this point, there should be something showing up.
I did not, sorry. Gotcha. So at this time, a server does bump into Martine and hands her, let's see, what was that there? A shot glass and says, "Compliments from a gentleman at the bar." And then he, saunters off.
Is there anything in the shot glass?
Yes.
Oh.
It smells like peppermint.
Oh.
Hot.
Yeah, sorry, not Miss. Martine, actually turns all the way around towards the bar. It's like, he's over there. And then she will down the peppermint schnapps.
Yes.
So yes, you just took a shot of peppermint schnapps. And the server was kind enough to point out where your friend is if you would like to do anything about that. At least you know where he's at.
Yeah, I'll let the captain and Silver know. The guy I was talking about, he's apparently right over there at the bar, so we could actually grab him if you like to help with the rough and tumble crowd.
Silver catches sight of me and says, "The dandy with the hat?"
Oh yeah, that one.
Please note, his entire left side of his body is covered in scars, and he is.
Yeah, the one with the burn
Maybe he's only
scars.
seeing the right side.
Silver just sees the hat from here. Captain Flint's like,
He's in for a
"What's wrong
surprise.
with a good hat?" He's like, "All right." He's like, "Here's the deal. Indentured crew to our next stop. We're aiming for District 10. He's like, "We shove off in less than an hour. That there," and he points off to his left, where there's actually 3 ships. It's really hard to tell which one he's pointing at specifically. "That's the Shadow Dancer, and she's mine."
Which one?
She's like, "Your honor, you're not. We're setting off in less than an hour."
Which
All right.
one?
Which
of those
one?
3? You just
You don't
pointed
know?
at 3.
You don't know the Shadow Dancer? And Silver just looks like, "I told you this was a bad idea, Captain. They don't even know what our ship is." The captain just kind of says, "She might not be the fastest ship in the world, but she's the fastest one left in this port. The one in the middle. Be there or not."
All right, let's.
He kind of turns on heel and he walks away, and Silver just kind of loiters for 3 or 4 steps, and he's like, "Please don't make me regret this." And then he turns and follows his captain.
No promises.
Okay, so
Well, that's done.
yeah, you two want to head to the Shadow Dancer? I'll go grab Riovoth.
Sure. I'm assuming we have everything on us, so no need to go anywhere.
All my stuff's in the back of holding, pretty much.
I'm good.
Okay, so yeah, I will prance my happy butt over to the bar and set the shot glass down and go calmly say to Riovoth before I go to the ship, "Got you a lift on the Shadow Dancer if you want to come."
What about Krull?
Who's Krull?
Kind of indicates the shifter beside him. This is Kroll. I owe him a debt.
Okay, well, bring him with. We'll talk to Silver or the captain, and we should be able to get him on. Sounds like they actually need crew to get out of here. I think. It's either that or they just like my pretty face. One of the two.
What's the name of the ship?
Shadow Dancer?
How much for passage?
Indentured crew servitude. Heading to District 10.
I don't like taking orders very much.
What was that, Scott?
I don't like taking orders very much.
Sounds... Well, I kind of, like, put
Do
you
I get
forth
to hurt
as...
some people?
Yeah, that's kind of what I, put you forth as someone that would be good in a scrap. Help with the rowdy elements of the crowd and stuff like that. By the way, do you have any of that peppermint water on you?
Yep.
Okay, we can talk about that later. Still working on that project. Haven't quite gotten some of the finer things done yet. But, still working on it.
Okay. Well, if anybody knows needs bloody, that's fine with me. Make sure Kroll is good to go. I don't want any surprises, and I don't think he'd appreciate getting stuff into my cargo.
Alright, so what sort of abilities or, like, job could Kroll do so I can, like, upsell him?
See my face?
Yeah.
He kept
It's a
me.
very nice face.
He did this.
He put you on fire?
No, he put me out. I put me on fire.
Okay, so he, like, threw a blanket over you?
Threw a blanket over me, stitched up my wounds, kept me from looking even uglier than I do now.
Okay. I'll go talk to Silver. Give me a moment. I'll walk back over to Silver.
He is now standing at the gangplank with a clipboard and a pen, and he's checking. Some people are carrying crates up on board, and he's writing stuff down as they do.
Okay, so does Riovoth and Krull come with me? Because Silver's going to want to see...
I don't control Kroll, but Riovoth will kind of go over. Please note, Riovoth does not look like he could... Like, he has a good constitution. He can take a punch, but he has a strength of 8, so he's probably not... Like, doesn't look like he's particularly good in a fight.
Okay, so... Come up to Silver. And I'm going to guess Krull comes with us, because I think Terry's rebooting his computer right now. He's not in either.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He texted us
So-
what he was.
Alright, so I'm going to say, Silver, I'm going to start helping with this onload, if you like, but this is Riovoth, the one I told you about. He's telling me that this guy Krull is great for patching people up. Might be another good crew member. Hi!
Sorry.
Silver doesn't even look up from his clipboard. He says, first of all, it's bosun.
Bosun.
Step across that gangplank. Second of all, wait. And then he does look up.
Martine is actually just waiting. She's like,
You don't know how much you weigh? I thought you were an engineer.
I thought you said wait.
Yeah, hearing, not amongst your good skills. Got it.
Oh,
Like, scrolls-
not pause. Okay, so not pause myself. Got it. I'm about 140 pounds.
Okay, and the rest of your crew, do you have all of their weights too? Ballast is a precise art. This isn't a guessing game. You're an engineer, right?
I am an engineer.
Give
Okay,
me
so
a
I
second. Look up tiefling weight and I'll get right back to
yeah,
you.
so I think I know Notes and Decca's and Reovoth's weights. I would have to guesstimate on Krull's. So you guys tell him what you weigh.
You guys can hand wave the weights. That was just a fun.
I know.
So that was
Now
pretty funny. Because weight and weight
Yeah.
are it's pretty
Homonym.
fucking great.
I saw it coming like a mile
Hominin.
away.
Sorry,
So
hominin.
it was a good time.
Difference and call it 180.
Okay.
So he is taking down all of the notes, runs some math, and he says, "We should be able to accommodate that. I was worried that your metal friend might be a little bit heavier than he was, so I think we're still good with intolerance."
Sweet.
Deca
Did
gives the
people get on board?
exact amount, like to the tenth.
He actually adds the decimal point and the digits that you give him.
Can you just weigh yourself standing there? Because if so, you should pick me up and then weigh me until it's the precise amount.
Rayovoth actually gives like an absurd number. Like it's not like remotely possible he's that light. Like he says like
Gotcha.
20 pounds.
50. Oh.
So James, just to quick catch you up, you can watch the stream later. You missed some fun stuff.
You missed the...
The city is being evacuated. The rest of the party has just secured indentured servitude passage to District 10 as the means of getting out before the place is destroyed or everyone is killed. Take your pick, a little bit of both. If you want, we can say you've already secured passage. If you want to be up on deck, we can already say that. Or if you'd rather jump in behind them like you know one of them, I don't know if you made any party ties or not. Okay, then we'll say you already secured passage on this ship as a assistant engineer, I think, because you're a plumber, right?
Yep.
Yep, so you went with plumbing skills. So I'm going to say that you told the captain that you were an engineer and would be able to assist as, again, stand-in crew because there were a lot of riots in the past few days and a lot of people died, to include a lot of his normal crew. So he's been, taking volunteers just to get his ship out of here. And it requires so many hands to get this thing, underway.
Got it.
So if you want to describe what they are going to see as they come up the gangplank, then you'll probably be one of the first few people up there because everyone else is doodly working, whereas you're probably standing around, I don't know, playing with your pipe. Literally the pipe that you asked for.
Okay. Thank you for the specifications. It's in this kind of game. Tim is here all of a sudden.
Right. He's a minotaur, standing 6'8", large blue coveralls and rolled up white shirt around his arms, and a tiny little paperboy's cap resting in between his massive horns.
Oh,
Notes-
I love it.
Note
He's got a
immediately
large
goes to talk to you.
toolbox.
What is your name? Because I'm gonna go ahead and play this out. What's your name?
Galeth.
Okay.
Galeth?
As soon as Rayovoth boards, he's gonna go, Galeth! It's Rayovoth. We did a thing that one time. How's it been going?
Some
It's been good.
Kill any more people? Kill any interesting people lately?
There was the riots a few days back. Had to beat a bloke to death.
Good.
You know how it goes.
Yeah.
You know Tuesday. This whole
Good to see you. It's nice to see somebody that might actually be able to take me in a fight here.
Yep.
Did you actually stop at the top of the gangplank, or did you move on to the ship's deck?
I was
Sorry.
wherever at when I saw it. I'm pretty sure he sticks out as a minotaur. So.
I know, but you said as soon as you got up there, did you
As
actually?
soon as I
stop?
saw him, I would have went that way.
You went over to him. Okay, just make sure that you weren't obstructing.
No, I'm not
traffic,
obstructing.
the onload and offload of supplies. Because
No, I'm an asshole, but I'm not that big.
Okay. Making sure you're not obstructing traffic. That's all.
Yeah.
So to give you guys further example of a visual on what it is that you've stepped onto here.
Brady.
This is the ship that you've stepped onto. There's actually a top deck on top of what looks like the dirigible portion of the ship. That is where the gangplank goes to. So stores are being carried down into that. There is a hollowed out portion of stairs to take stuff down into the below decks. The topmost deck is where you are presently at while the stores are being loaded. Silver is still scrolling notes as things are being brought on, keeping an accurate tally of the weights. As the crates are being carried down and people are coming back up, like some literally paid just to carry those crates because they are leaving the ship. So it looks like they were not all hired as crew. They may have just been hired for the hefty hands of carrying things on. And Silver is, in fact, tallying each of them as they leave. So it looks like he is being very diligent about his numbers.
As soon as Rayovas spots this, he's actually going to go up to Silverman. You're leaving your crew behind.
I'm sorry, are you speaking to me again?
Yep.
And what is your concern?
You're leaving your crew behind.
Oh, they're not my crew.
They loaded your shit.
They're deckhands.
So they're your crew.
No, I borrowed them.
All right, 10.
It's Silver. Bosun Silver.
Okay, Boatswain Silver. Or Boatswain 10. I'll keep that in mind. And then I'm just going to leave.
Martine is going to walk up to the Minotaur in coveralls that once we get on board and go, "You look like you're part of the engineering crew. Hi, I'm Martine. Who are you?"
I'm Galith. Nice
Hi,
to meet
Galith. Very nice to meet you. So, supposedly I'm going to be doing ballista-y stuff. Do you know where those are? I want to, take a look at them, get a feel for where the ammo's stored, stuff like that.
Couldn't say exactly. Doesn't have much to do with pipes.
Well,
So
no.
there actually is one. There's a structure on the picture on the very top. Sticking off the back of that, there is a ballista pointing in reverse. There is no munition laying around, but there is a ballista there. If you were to ask around, if someone would probably be able to tell you that there is another one that's forward mounted between the forward prows.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely ask around, figure out where I need to go to get the ammo when it comes down to it. I'm not going to actually grab any of that ammo right now, but I'm going to take a look at the ballista, and I'm going to take my notepad out, and I'm going to start jotting notes regarding how it was actually made and how it works.
So Silver's going to be the only person that would be able to tell you that. And he'll let you know that all munitions and all weapons are currently stored in the hold down below in the hold. Traditionally, these weapons are meant for defense, so they're not typically readied. However, things being what they are and the type of ship you are on, you can put those pieces together.
Sounds great. Bosun, do you need me to assist with any of this onload or anything like that? Do you need me to get my other crew members out of the way or anything similar?
If everyone wants to get down below, there is a space with seats and seatbelts and all that. We've only got maybe 3 or more loads, and we should be ready to get underway.
Sounds amazing! And she'll run off and find Note and Tekka, and we'll let them know that if we go down below, it's like seatbelts and things ready, and they'll be ready to go very shortly.
Note has absolutely just been standing just barely out of the way, taking notes on everyone. Anyone who's speaking a language she doesn't understand in particular probably actually would just follow. If there was anyone. I don't know if everyone is just speaking common or if there's a chance someone's speaking something I don't know.
Most of the people that are speaking are the ones carrying the heavy crates. Not doing a lot of speaking besides, left or watch step or are you good? The typical things like pivot.
Yeah,
pivot, going down the stairs.
All right. Then we can go down to the seating area and I'll keep an eye out for the same thing. Anyone speaking something different?
Cool.
Or talking about it.
For those of you that do go down to the crew compartment, there's actually more passengers down here than you might have suspected, already seated and buckled. There's 2 Azorius law mages that are sitting to either side of a heavily chained and muzzled goblin. If anybody would have any reason or rhyme to be able to identify a possibly very well-known criminal goblin, you can roll, I don't know, an intelligence check or a history check, maybe. I don't even know. What would be good for someone of such?
I'm gonna stay up on literally. I'm gonna stay up on deck. I'm more comfortable being out in the air. And as soon as
no one's gonna complain about
roll
that.
a cigarette. And
Nice.
All right, so I'll go ahead and do a history check because I'm pretty sure my character reads a lot of newspapers and things like that.
Okay.
Maybe.
What are they well known for?
All I'm giving you right now is criminal and, bad stuff.
All right, well then I'll do that too, I guess. I wasted it so early. It's going to be my only.
Martine knows that she has definitely seen. She's pretty sure she's seen that face in the news. It's currently muzzled, so I mean it's still a goblin. It could be anyone. However, Note will recognize that is the infamous, very infamous Krenko, who is a world-renowned goblin horde lord and rabble-raiser. He has raised very many goblin riots and amassed many hordes over a very long time, longer than most goblins survive, and somehow manages to survive and escape to some other district and escape to some other district. And, he's got a very long historic career of these things. One of the recent newscasts that you've seen with that role, the labor union strikes that happened recently, he was a prime suspect in the escalation of those riots.
I was going to ask what he causes the riots for, just for fun or for a purpose, but it sounds like workers' rights kind of stuff.
Well, I mean,
it could be for anything, but I'm sure that's what it was.
He's muzzled and probably not going to share that information with you at this juncture.
I'm not going to ask now. I'm going to wait until later. God, there are guards.
So, other passengers that we have, there is a male Gorgon in a blue toga. If anybody wants to know would have any reason to know anything about Gorgons, I can provide you more information. Your history check would probably work out there as well.
Okay. Oh, I did it again.
You did it again?
Yeah, my bad. No, just rolled again in general.
Oh, wow. You rolled really high. Cool. So the things you know about that is male Gorgons are extremely rare. Gorgons themselves aren't very prolific, especially in this district, but males are even more rare. And they are reputed to be oracles or precogs or seers, and which is part of why the female Gorgons tend to prefer them dead.
Just prefer them dead. Okay.
There is also a dwarf that is clearly from off-world, wearing a very nice tuxedo of black and silver. He's got a fancy cane. He is currently talking to an Eladrin, which is a very high elf from the Feywild. So both of them are off-worlders. They don't look like they're together, but they're making conversation. If you'd like to roll anything to know anything about those as well, you may. But that rounds out the persons of note in the passenger compartment beyond all of you.
So, for learning stuff about the off-worlders, would it still be a history or something else?
I would say it depends what it is you're going to try and recognize. Going for their garb or their accents, or I guess one had a cane, or the Eladrin. Actually, the Eladrin, I'll tell you, he is carrying a small ornate wooden box, like it is the greatest treasure in his existence.
I guess more about the Eladrin, and if I know anything that's significant about this box.
Okay, so probably either history or arcane.
Alright. Same. So, oh no, it's a really pretty box.
Yeah. He looks like a really fancy elf.
He's like an elfy elf.
Box. Yeah.
I'll go ahead and see if I can see what the box is.
Like from a distance?
Nope. I don't see it. I'm too busy looking at my seatbelt.
Okay.
Note doesn't care about the box, but she cares about the male Gorgon.
Okay.
So if there's anything, like, would I be able to remember something since I'm an anthropologist, religiously maybe linked to the Gorgons and the Seer in general, so I know something about his abilities, or how to strike up a conversation that will immediately...
So I will say Martine will whisper to Note, because she knows that Note would be interested, what Martine at least knows of male Gorgons being extremely rare, and the females prefer to kill them off because they're like precogs and stuff like that. So the things that she knows, she shares with you.
Okay. Would that jog anything in my memory, or do I roll for something? What do you think?
That's pretty much what there is to know without interaction.
Do I know what they speak?
Most entities on Ravnica speak Planar Common.
Oh, okay.
Because this is like, the city planet's kind of like a nexus hub of the multiverse. So,
I know. I just want to use my cool ability. It's okay. I'll wait.
Sorry. We'll find a way for it eventually.
I'm so excited for it. Sorry. That's fine. I'll keep all this knowledge and maybe help Deca with his seatbelt if they're struggling with it.
Deca definitely is struggling with the seatbelt.
I'll see if there's some part to loosen it or something, or if we have to just use two and strap them together.
Mm-hmm.
Help my buddy. All right.
Where did you end up, James? Did you stay up on deck with Scott, or did you come down below? I'm going to learn your character names. I will, I promise.
I probably would have gone down below if we're getting ready to leave.
Okay. So when you come down, actually, the off-worlder dwarf kind of gets a little quieter. I mean, kind of like positions like, he's a little uncomfortable that there's a huge minotaur in here.
Why? Minotaurs are awesome. Should.
Seeing as how he's in some of the fanciest clothes, I'll tip my hat at the little and continue about my way.
Hey, we got Terry back.
And doesn't he look creepy?
He is the one in the hood, huh?
It's so fitting. I love it.
Right?
Where's the tea?
So yeah.
Yeah.
Is anybody making an effort to eavesdrop on the conversations, or are you just kind of minding your own business?
Oh no, Martine is not eavesdropping, but seeing that the dwarf was uncomfortable about the Minotaur, she'll actually address the dwarf and the elfie elf and go, you don't have to worry about him. Here on Ravnica, there's all kinds of different species that, get to interact. It's really fucking cool. I mean, I've actually seen a dwarf and a giant sit down for tea together.
And the off-worlder dwarf, his eyes like silver dollar. He's like, where I come from, dwarves would never be caught dead with a giant. My brother and I, we've killed plenty. You should see his rages when he sees a giant. And he just kind of does one of these.
Yeah, I've heard that about like a lot of places other than Ravnica. Where are you from?
Someplace you've never heard of, I promise. It's not anywhere around.
Well,
try us.
It would be nice to know. Tell him.
And he'll just kind of finally, fine. And he says, Solibos.
Wow. I'll turn to Note. Have you heard of Suabos?
Have I?
Have you?
I don't know. I don't know what worlds are where and all of that jazz, but my character's traveled a lot. So
has she gone off-world a lot? Has she been interested in off-world?
Oh, for sure. Anything that'll bring her to a culture she doesn't know or information about the event. So.
Do we need to make a roll?
Odds are probably slim, but you can roll for it, sure.
What'll I roll?
Probably, yeah. I really hate that they got rid of Knowledge Planar in this edition.
Yeah. It would be Arcana or History. It'd be Arcana or History, your choice. Probably with Suabos, it'd probably be Arcana because it's kind of a hidden plane.
I'll let Scott judge that DC.
Okay.
Okay.
So I rolled a 22 for that.
I got a 19.
18.
Did any of them roll high enough, Scott? No. None of you have heard of that world.
Sounds really cool. Can you tell us much about it? And would you like to know anything about Ravnica?
It's okay. Oh, I've been here before. I'm actually here on business.
What?
I've got a meeting in District 10 with a mining consortium that's standing up. My brother hooked me up with a contact there. Very well funded. She's doing really impressive things.
Cool. So, does your brother hang out in Ravnica often?
No, he didn't particularly like his time here, if I'm told.
Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Sad to hear he didn't have a good time, but at least he got you a point of contact.
It's true. That's true. And I'm gonna make a lot of money.
Sounds good.
So, Scott, up on deck, you'll have seen the the deck hands are going down, and Silver's standing there, and he pulls a lever, and the gangplank just starts folding in on itself as it works its way back up to the thing. There's a couple other deck hands up there, tying things off, pulling in lines, and a loud whistle pierces the air, both outside and you guys can hear it within, as a voice, that of Captain Flint, comes across and announces that all hands prepare for disembarkation. All hands prepare for disembarkation.
Oh.
That's right. He made up a word,
Why do
disembarkation.
you do this to me? I know it. I have to make a note. Where
It's
I'm
his
gonna keep
prerogative.
an actual notebook. I don't have any near me. I'm going to keep an actual notebook of
Of
this.
made up words.
Yeah, of this kind of, because it's relevant. I mean,
So I would say Rehoboth doesn't really react to. Well, he might like kind of do an eye twitch at disembarkation. Mainly because he will actually start looking around to like see if he has to disembark. Like, is there a problem? And then realize, oh, the captain is just they're shoving off. Okay.
got it.
But
Did y'all get a good, warm, fuzzy feeling about the captain of this vessel just now?
You know, any
now,
kind
like-
of faith solidly in the bosun.
and
Because
at this point, like, honestly, Rehoboth is trying to figure out who he wants to punch first, the bosun or the captain. But he will. He's not going to do really anything for like an hour. I would say he is. He will look like he's asleep. He's actually not. He's just kind of watching the crew go about their work. He is. He's trying to observe what everyone's duties are, like, in making sure everything is running smoothly. If the Rakdos are by themselves kind of unionists in terms of like, so if he sees that, like, he won't hesitate to use violence to make sure somebody does their job, but at the same time, if he feels like it. Like, he's especially watching the supervisors. If he feels like any of the, if he feels like anybody is being mistreated, he will also handle it, and he will also. What is Discord doing?
Chester, are you doing something to Discord? Like, why are we?
Really not.
Okay.
If he feels like there's an opportunity to bring it up, he will start also, like, he knows that he's wise enough to realize he shouldn't be the one to lead it or be the one to bring it up, but he is also, like, will start whispering union into unionizing people's ears among the deckhands.
Because Flint and Silver do well with mutinies.
Yeah.
Good times.
But, like,
Conveniently,
again, he's also aware that he has some people that he actually does I wouldn't say cares about, but owes favors to, and therefore, and at least one person who owes him money. So he won't rabble rouse unless he finds it will be beneficial and funny.
Nice. Well, mostly everyone up there is conveniently not being mistreated at the moment, at least.
Mm-hmm.
The lions are being coiled. Silver and his clipboard have retreated below, and the last thing he said before he went down was to hurry this up and get down below.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't very polite about it, but he wasn't throwing things or cursing people out either.
Right.
But yeah, mostly they're just all coiling up the lines that were used to secure the ship, and as they finish, they start working their way down below. Two of them go back to the very back of the ship, and they're standing where that rear-mounted ballista is, and they are lighting up cigarettes as well.
Okay,
Cigars.
As soon as he starts seeing people going below, the majority of the crew, he kind of takes it as a sign. He'll flick out the embers of his cigarette over the side, and then head in.
Okay. So the very thin spiraling stairwell leads you down to the crew compartment where everyone else is. There are still available seats. You see everything that they did. I'm not sure where Krull got to. He may or may not know what's going on at all. So
He went and peed in the corner and then came back to join the rest of the group, breathing heavily behind one of us.
Yep.
I think it was a dwarf who was talking, is what he was talking about.
Okay, yeah. So there was a dwarf that was explaining that he is meeting a mining consortium in District 10, and he's set to make a lot of money. He probably walked in exactly then and there.
Yep. By the way, my name's Martine. What's your name?
The dwarf? Are you asking the dwarf now?
Yep.
Quick, make one up. His name is Bob.
Billy Bob Joe.
No, I had one, and I just don't like
Billy
it.
Bob Joe Strong. Dwarf.
Fendel
He's going
or
by the
something
name.
like that?
He says, he looks you up and he says, "You can call me Mr. R."
Mr. R. Okay, nice to meet you.
For Redbeard.
Not Mr. E.
Ow.
Well. Oh, great leader. No, what?
Great. Who, me?
No, that's actually to Chester. As the, TM.
Well,
Since we're all here now.
He answered the question, so he was waiting to see if there was anything else forthcoming.
I don't know right at this moment. I'm going to let someone else maybe see if they want to ask him questions.
If not, he'll just return to talking to the Elid. Cut out the conversation on you if you had more to ask.
Nope. I'll just kind of listen in, but mind my own business.
Gotcha. So if you're listening
dwarf,
in...
right? So, there's no way his coat would fit Rayovath.
No, definitely not. He's very broad-shouldered, and
Okay.
It is very nice, though. Black with silver trim.
Okay.
Almost tuxedo-ish.
I would want to ask lots of questions about the world he's from. Since I haven't been and apparently don't know about it.
So you're going to engage him?
Yes.
Okay.
What was the planet called?
Suabos.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Oh,
Already. It's been 5 seconds.
yeah.
That's why I take notes. Leave me alone.
Mhm.
Memory's not sharp.
Notes will be important in this game. It's okay. I highly encourage it.
Okay. No, I would just ask, and you don't have to tell me all of this, obviously, but, everything from general socioeconomic status to political composition, countries, cultures, languages, religions. Everything that I get into in real world.
You'll find that he doesn't know a whole lot about religion. He does have a lot on the trade and finances aspects. Apparently, he has a lot of merchant princes and agreements that he knows by name, whether they're valid or made up or not. Who's to say? But he's name dropping people.
Okay.
The Elidrin looks extremely bored now for this conversation.
Shocking. How can anyone not be interested in everything that I'm talking about?
I'm just keeping you apprised. But yeah, you can tell he definitely does travel the world, but his attention is definitely not on the things that interest you most. He'll be able to tell you like what goods are primed to move between A and B in what season, and anticipating shortfalls and gains to be made.
Okay. So I would be happy to listen to all of that, but when it becomes clear he doesn't have anything that really interests me, I'd be like, very nice talking to you. Thank you. We'll, I'm sure, see each other around while we're traveling. Bye. And just shift it.
And then I give her the paper. I'm like, I took notes for you.
I would absolutely take it from Decca and fold it and stick it in my own journal. Like, I've got a section where I have a bunch of other pages that I assume Decca wrote for me, and it's just a whole little folder.
Passive perceptions for anyone who got within 5 feet of the pair.
9.
15.
13. Or wait, do you mean me as part of the pair? Sorry.
If you got within 5 feet of the dwarf and the Elidrin, that's all I was looking for.
13.
9.
So anyone who had over a 10, the wooden box that the Elidrin has a large symbol of a tree on it. It looks very much like the Vitu-Gazi, which is the world tree that the Celestia Guild uses for their iconography, but it looks different. Like, it looks very similar, but not the same. And it's colored very differently as well. It's colored in blue for some reason.
Rayovok's going to set up kind of like as soon as he kind of gets bored with the dwarf, he's gonna saddle up like his back turned to him, and just be like, "What are you holding? We can make some trades."
The Elidrin, like, his shoulders tense up, and he like clutches the box like white knuckled, and like can't hug it.
Nope, don't tense up. Don't tense up. It's dead giveaway. We have Azorius on this boat. We don't.
He basically just says,
Just relax. I ain't a narc. And I just lost everybody.
Yeah, I'm having a seizure from the strobing effects. For real.
Just relax. I ain't a narc. Just.
So he basically pulls the equivalent of, it's precious. It's not for trade, not for sale.
Understood. Personal use only. I gotcha.
Terry.
Nice.
Great minds.
Just saying. If you feel like you want to share,
We share.
We're all about new experiences here among the crew.
Yes. That's what we call it.
This is one experience that I'm sorry you'll just have to live your life in ignorance of. And he says this like very politely. Like he actually sounds genuinely sorry about that. But
it's good shit.
yeah, he's like afraid. You can tell he's afraid. He literally thinks you're going to beat him up and take the box.
Well, that's valid because it's very possible that I'm going to beat him up and take the box.
Just to find out what's in it.
I'll leave him alone, but I am going to keep my eye on him and figure out where first opportunity, I'm gonna beat him up and take the box. So,
and then I need someone to please roll me a D100.
70.
Cool. So, let's see. About a seventh of the way back of the ship, looking at the picture, like you can see the cross sections there, and about where the seventh one is, you guys can. There is a huge explosion sounding noise, and you feel like the ship just got hit somewhere in that direction, and the whole ship rocks and like drops. Like literally, it straight up drops for almost 2 seconds, and then restabilizes. And the lights are flickering. The other passengers are looking around very nervously. You see the Eladrin, like without relinquishing the box, like he kind of like shakes one hand up and tugs on his seatbelt to make sure it's still secure. The dwarf kind of, sets his cane horizontal, like across his knees, and gives it a good tug as well. The law mages, one of them actually pulls a wand and keeps it like right at Kranko's throat. They're not taking any risks apparently. You hear that whistle that you heard from before, and Captain Flint's voice come up, and he specifically, your name's not on there. That's not helpful. What was the name you gave us here, Becca?
Martine.
Martine. He literally says, "Now, for the information of all hands, I need Marty. What'd you say her name was again, Silver?" And you can like hear muffled Silver in the background. "Martine, Captain. Her name was Martine." And he says, "Yeah, Martine, to the bridge."
Okay, yeah, I'll
double step it.
Unstrap myself, and I will run. No skipping. I will run towards where I think the bridge is.
And then there's another whistle blown, and he calls for James. Your Minotaur's name was what?
Galeth.
Galeth. Same thing. He pages Galeth to the bridge.
Breovath, not wanting to be left behind, will go ahead and run after him, and is way faster than either of those two, I'm pretty sure.
Galeth unbuckles himself, picks up his toolbox, holds down his tiny hat, and races off.
Oh my... I love him. I should have been a Minotaur, damn it. I was gonna, and Chester said you already were. I was like, well, shit.
So the bridge is right underneath the giant spike in the front of the ship. There's like a little viewing platform out there. And when you get there, you find Captain Flint and Silver are spinning dials and changing the ballast out. You engineers would understand that they're actually trying to do a controlled descent.
Okay.
There are two people off to the left, deckhands, that are like leaning over the edge of the rail and looking back to where you guys felt that collision. Silver says, he looks at you and says, "All right, time to earn your keep." He's like, "We just took a direct hit. We need you," and he points at the Minotaur. He says, "to do what you say you do and fix that hole in my boat." And then he looks at Martine and he says, "And you, whatever the heck just hit us, get outside and shoot it."
Yay! I get to shoot things! And I will run to get the ammo I need and then head up to the ballistas.
What shot us?
And at that point, as if serendipity were smiling upon you, you see swooping beside the, like nearly hitting the captain's area, but like swooping past the ship.
I love him.
Ooh.
I want one.
It's a Dargan.
He's pretty.
That would be
Proper
a...
arms and wings, by the way.
For anyone who might have a good reason to recognize it, I'll just tell you and let you decide. That's a wyvern, which is not quite a dragon, but close
But
enough
the
for
proper
Godward.
way that they would have evolved based on Earth biology. I'm sorry. Biodiversity dictates that. That's not my fault.
It soars past the ship at a much faster velocity than the ship was traveling, and banks to the right. And you see the shadow of another one kind of coming in a different direction, so that there is definitely more than one of them out there. and it looks like there's something on the back of both of them.
How
All
big are
A
they?
figure.
Turret size.
Your wyvern is bigger than a horse, but smaller than a dragon.
So I
That's
could
like
theoretically,
Helpful measurement size.
I could theoretically jump on one's back.
Are in fact considered large creatures.
Don't miss. Don't have to re-roll the new character already.
They are deemed large creatures according to the monster manual as well.
Please don't die. But do it. I mean,
I really want to do it.
do it.
You'll have to wait till one gets close.
Like, I have a high perception and I have a high wisdom. The ropes around here, could I theoretically swing from one to whatever is riding these things to punch it in the face?
I mean, you have to time it very well, but sure. Because they are doing.
I do have a survival instinct. I'm not gonna let go of the rope unless I'm pretty sure I can make the jump. They're
doing strafing runs.
What?
They're not hovering. They're doing strafing runs.
Right.
So,
I'm gonna have to time it. I understand that.
Can I run up there and assist? Can I have a psychic burst knowledge that something's happening? Someone needs my help. I can go and inspire him or something, please.
You are not psychic, but Martine will have to pass through your compartment on her way to the hold. So if she deems to tell you something up there or to help her, I don't know, carry munitions, odds are you're probably going to be called to assist one way or the other. And
I would say Rayovath is he's not going to just grab a rope and go. He's going to kind of observe and spend some time calculating these, because they're making strafing runs, right? So they're circling.
Yeah. So I'll throw this at you, Scott. If you were willing to engage Silver on this, he seemed very mathematically inclined.
Okay, yeah, I would be like...
He might even be able to render you advantage on this roll.
Yeah, I will ask him, can you... You seem to know the shit better... You seem to know the shit better than I do, and I really want to punch that thing in the face.
You want to punch a wyvern in the face? And he seems genuinely impressed with your attitude.
Wyvern or whatever's on his back. What's my best vantage point?
He looks over to one of the two guys that are just gawking at the hole in the side of the ship, and he says, "Smithers." He's like, "Take over here." He's like, "Captain, I'm gonna go topside with this guy and see what we can do about this." And
as this is going on, when Martine's running through the crew quarters, she would say, "Help me with some ammunition! I got to shoot some wyverns, and someone's going to do something really crazy up top!" She's just running through.
1,000% go with, and when all of this occurs, I will give Rayovath Bardic Inspiration.
And I want to ask, since I'm a divination wizard, can I make my portent rolls before we start doing dumb things?
I'll say you already had those on deck. That's fine.
What could you have been referencing? I don't know what dumb things. We're going to make this work. We're going to find a way.
Or we're going to have our first character death. One of the two are bound to happen tonight.
Well, as long as it's not Note. I'm so... Come on.
We're going to go ahead and skip
I would like to point out, I have terrible luck with bards. I'm not bards, with monks. I am notorious.
We're going to skip to our Minotaur friend. Who,
can't spell funeral without fun. Sorry.
You've worked your way through the ship and you come to the compartment, and it is currently on fire. Clearly a fire blast punctured the hole and set the compartment ablaze, and there is a giant hole in the side of the ship, which is not helping them drive because it damaged some of the steering lines that are attached outside of that hole.
Can I use mending to help repair any of that? Or is that
Did you go with him? Or did you go topside?
Below. We're going the other way.
Below. Sorry, I thought that was up above. Never mind.
So everything's on fire. Is there a water main nearby?
I would say there is a coolant pipe nearby, but I would not say that it is necessarily in liquid form. You could probably make it work, though. Do you have what are you rolling for mechanics here on this thing? Let's see. Do you have like tools or something fun like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got
Go ahead and
plumber's
do it.
tools.
Go ahead and do a tools roll then.
Yeah. Sorry.
We'll just call it a tools roll. I will say that you definitely make some headway on the fire, and it looks like it's hedged in, but still burning. Like there's coming out of the pipe that you just diverted over that way. Coolant is definitely spraying there, and it's keeping the fire from spreading forward towards the crew compartment, which is definitely a perk, because, that's good. But it is still a present threat to the ship.
I continue to try to put the fire out and have anyone who's around help me put the fire out. We got to get that hole blocked up fast. We seem to be taking on fire faster than I can bail it out.
Nice.
Oh god, I'm so in love with this campaign
I'm
already.
about to do an acrobatics roll. I don't know if the divination wizard has a good roll for me.
Well,
You don't?
well, it's up there. I have a 12 and a 4.
Oh
There
no.
is a 12 and a 4.
I have advantage.
And I gave you a 6 for Bardic Inspiration as well.
That's a
Or a
D6?
D6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I will take the Bardic Inspiration. I have advantage on it. Hopefully this is better than a 12.
I believe in you.
Acrobatics, right? I am also going to spend a key point for Step of the Wind, so that should make the DC a little bit lower on this. Because it gives me some good... It doubles my jumping and allows me some aerial control, so...
Okay.
I mean, that you can interpret that however you want, but...
Sure.
I just want this to work really badly. Really, I want this.
Okay, so that's a 19 plus a D6. So 22.
So we're going to say between Silver on your left and the mechanized wizard on your right, they give you you're standing behind him. There's only two sides, okay? They're helping do the math.
And the song in my heart. The song
Yeah.
in my...
Thank you.
Right? They're doing the math. They're
I'm
way
yelling
more
Eye of
critical
the
than
Tiger at you.
basically, Silver gives and if you're gonna do this, I'm gonna say right about, and he's cut off by the mechanized divination wizard, and they both say simultaneously, now. And as you jump into the air, you hear Eye of the Tiger from the Bardis behind you, and you immediately start going down. Then the rope goes taut, and you swing out, and you narrowly miss the wyvern's face. But as you're swinging around, the other wyvern that you weren't even looking at, you clock with your foot right beneath the eye. So you can roll kick damage on that.
Okay.
As soon as Martine can, she's going to start firing at the wyverns, but...
We'll get to you next.
Yep. It takes a bit to run down there and grab,
There's
ammunition.
4 damage, but the entire point of this was that I wanted to be on the wyvern's back after all of this. So.
Yeah.
That's not out of the question yet, because I'm just resolving your damage.
Okay.
So after you did that kick, there's that point of impact. Now you're spiraling. But your rope gets caught on the rider and clotheslines him back into his saddle and pins him, which serves to kind of bola you around. And you are now pinned to the side of the wyvern, but not falling. And now still tied to the wyvern, who is effectively leashed to the airship at the moment.
Okay, I'm good with that.
You know what I think the wyvern rider didn't expect? a flying kick to the face. Like, I'm just, out of everything...
By the
Oh,
way,
no.
at this point, like, because
The wyvern got the kick to the face. The
I
rider
would
got
like
movement.
to say before I took before I actually jumped on the rope, I would have like tossed the bard my hat.
I'm holding it for you for safekeeping.
Yeah.
I'm
Nice.
holding on to it,
Yeah,
can't
definitely
wear
don't
it.
want to lose the hat.
but I haven't.
Deck
So-
is totally making notes about how this kind of worked, kind of is not working.
Well, actually, for you, it worked precisely. Silver's like, huh, I really thought he was going to hit the first one. Like, you have that, I knew it would work moment.
And
And
that was
then-
my attack, so... And I already
So we're
used
going
my
to slide over to
Yeah.
Becca, who is arming the rear ballista, I imagine. Did you go topside? Because
Yep,
that one
I
comes
went-
back.
Yeah, as soon as I grab the ballistas, carrying what I can carry, run up to that ballista.
All right. Did
Load
anyone
it.
go along to help her, or is she on her own with this?
I was gonna help, and then...
And
Like-
then I said there was someone that was going to do crazy shit up top.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this ballista, now that you're actually stopping to inspect it,
Yep.
this is not your average defense ballista that a commercial carrier would have. This looks a little bit more militarized.
Sweet.
It actually has a crystal focusing lens, aka a sight, built into it, and 2 grips instead of 1 for some reason. It actually looks like it could launch 2 bolts at once. However, you do look at this thing, and you can tell that it would take, because there's just you, to reload after each shot.
It would take what? Sorry, you cut out.
It's gonna take 2 rounds to reload after each shot if it's just you.
All right.
If you had an assistant, you could do it every other turn.
Okay.
On the attack, it's going to be 4 plus your proficiency roll, because you are proficient with this, I will give you.
All right. So 4 plus my proficiency. So
Is
plus
your
6.
attack roll. Yep.
All right. I am going to go ahead and attempt to fire at the wyvern that does not have Ryuvoth attached to it.
Which would be the easier target,
It would be the easier
because it is
target.
currently tethered to the ship.
Yeah. I want to give Ryuvoth a chance to do whatever it was that he was
So
going
hopefully
to do.
not get
Not
collapsed.
get shot by a ballista.
Yeah. All right. So 25 to hit.
You definitely hit. So now that is going to be 3d10 plus your proficiency and damage.
3d10 plus my proficiency,
Yep.
which would be 2.
Is what it is. Take it and run.
Because there's no dex or strength associated
Right.
with this, right?
Yep.
Okay. 9 points of... That was awful. I'm sorry.
Okay. You actually do hit it, though. You can tell while the bolt did not pierce the scales, it definitely gave it a good impact. And its flight reacted accordingly to having been hit by said ballista bolt.
Okay. And I will call out, is there anyone available to assist me with reloading as I start reloading?
How close is that? Would I be able to hear?
I mean, it's windy, but if she, positioned herself and yelled, and you probably saw that bolt go, I'll say sure.
Okay. As soon as I saw that Ryuvoth wasn't falling to his death, once I figure out what he's doing, then I'll run over and I would join her. I want to.
Gotcha.
I have faith that he'll do it, but also Featherfall. So
I actually don't
I'm
have
prepared.
slow fall. I would like to put that. You don't get slow fall until level 4 as well.
I know, but
And don't you need a wall for
I
that?
have Featherfall at level 1. So
Hey, Carl, what do you got
I
going on?
won't keep you from dying. Have fun.
Hey, Carl, what do you got going on right now?
Just in the quarters, waiting to be called for help.
Okay. Fair enough. So while you're down there, I will say that you hear the Eladrin is actually praying now, and you hear him name dropping Odin and Yggdrasil and a few other names that you probably don't know, unless But those are 2 words you picked out him repeating repeatedly. He looks very scared. And the dwarf actually kind of looks at him and is like, tells him to sack up a little bit. The law mages are kind of the one with the wand on Cranko is like eagle eyes watching him for any misstep. The other one is kind of looking around like it looks like he's torn on whether he should try and go help or if he should maintain position with their charge. So that's what's going on in the room where you're at. If you want to do anything with that, if you just want to hang out, we can move on. It's up to you.
Well, the only thing what I'm doing is getting closer and closer. I was trying to not really do anything, just getting closer and closer to them.
You're getting closer and closer to who?
The guy praying.
I lost you there. The who?
Yeah, no worries. I'm trying to talk with this thing. I was saying closer and closer to the guy that was praying because, like I said, I heard 2 things.
Oh, okay.
That
The Eladrin. Yeah. Okay. He's too oblivious. He doesn't even notice you're getting closer to him. Okay, so topside. We'll go back around and we'll go to Rayovac, who is currently.
So I'm basically tethered to the ship, right? Like we basically just fished a wyvern.
Yeah. But the problem here is, so the problem that you currently face is, if the wyvern tries to pull in the direction that you're pinned against his side on, that rope is effectively across your chest. Because it bowled you around him. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I'm restrained to him.
A little bit. But that prevented you from falling, too. So, mixed blessings there.
Okay. I'm trying to think of what I want to do here. Can I get out of the rope? Like, is that going to be an action? What's it going to be to try to like wiggle my way out of that rope, or at least climb up that rope?
Let's see. I would say you can try and wriggle out. That's probably an athletics check, but you can use Dex.
Okay.
Dex athletics check to try and wiggle out of the ropes. If you, yeah.
Is that going to be
or
an
you
action?
you could always cut the rope.
Yeah, but right now the wyvern is basically bound to the ship too, right? Like it's not.
Yes.
And what about the rider? Is the rider anywhere near me?
You can't see him. You know that you did clothesline him with the rope as you were bullying around the wyvern.
Okay.
But you'd be like kind of looking back like this, trying to see the elevated position.
Okay, so because I'm restrained to this thing, I'm just going to screw it. I'm going to just take my short sword, stab him in the throat, and then flurry like 2 knees into whatever soft bits I can find.
Into the wyvern?
Yeah.
Cool. Go for it. And you know what? I'm just going to say that you can go ahead and just roll damage.
Okay. So, 1d6 plus 2. Plus 9.
None of that's working, Scott.
19. 19 total points of damage for that flurry.
So that's 14, 19?
19.
19 points of damage?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm also going to like yell out. This might not have been the wisest decision.
You're pretty confident that no one hears you unless maybe that rider is still on the back of the wyvern, because it is windy. Both the ship and these wyverns were flying at speed. So
I have a quick question.
I have a quick answer.
Does the wyvern count as a beast?
I think wyverns are monstrosities.
No. Actually, according to this, it says it's a large dragon unaligned.
So animal friendship wouldn't do anything?
No.
No.
Boo. Just
Boo. Yep. So for Dekka, Silver kind of looks at you and smiles like, I'm just really impressed that worked. Like, he is super proud that the math worked out on that, even though it was not really how he mathed it. But you have that glimmer of, I'm smarter than you because I foresaw magic trumps science in your world just then and there. But other than that, he seems pretty excited to watch whatever it is that's going on down there. And then he kind of goes like this. He's like, ah! And he says, there's weapons below. And he, like, takes off for the whole... What's that?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
So Dekka, Silver just ran off down below saying something about there being weapons down in the hole. You got anything? You just gonna watch? Are you frozen? No?
Chris?
Yeah. Like,
That was all for you, buddy.
That was all for you.
So Silver looked at you and said, you know, he's impressed that happened. And then he had the epiphany that there's weapons down in the hold. And he took off to go down below to get weapons.
He took off to get weapons?
That's what he said.
All right. I'm just going to stay up top.
Okay. Are you going to do anything, or are you just going to watch Rayavik do what he does?
I'm going to watch Rayavat and see what's going to happen and see if... I mean, I'm just waiting until I can do something.
Okay. Fair enough. I think that brings us to Becca.
Okay. Am I able to fire again, or do we need to finish loading?
Did Shayna come help you?
Yes.
Hi.
So then you're only missing one turn.
Okay.
So this turn is the reload because there's two of you doing it together.
Okay,
And
so
you'll be able to fire in the next turn. So you guys are reloading.
Yep.
All right. James, down in the hold. Or not the hold, the hole, if you will. If you want to do another tool check, we can see if you can get that fire out.
I'm gonna go for another tool check.
Yes, do it.
Okay.
Doing it.
You're doing it and doing it well. Yes.
Haha, I have tooled successfully.
So you put like a sharper bend in that pipe that increases the pressure of the cold air coming out, and you are able to put out the remainder of that fire. You just placed enough oxygen. The fire is out. There.
Nice. As I'm staring at this gaping hole now with all of our coolant flying out it.
Don't worry, that'll come up soon.
Just saying, giant hole with the coolant leaking out sounds a lot like the generators here.
You hear, Mr. James, the sound of claws rending the hull, and you're like standing right next to where this happened. Like, they didn't attack the hole, they attacked the metal like right beside the hole that you're kind of standing in front of, and you hear the impact and scratch of claws there, but it did not puncture.
Stick my head out the hole and look around.
You see a wyvern continuing a strafing run. Like, it looks like it had swooped in and tried to rip out another section, but failed to get a good grip.
Does he happen to see me dangling straps?
Different wyvern.
Oh,
There's two.
Yeah, I know there's two. I was just hoping that maybe we were on the same side.
You know what? Sure. We'll make that happen. You actually see out there a line coming from topside, connected to a wyvern, and there is a figure that looks like your friend, stuck to the side of the wyvern.
Huh. I think that was Ray.
Awesome.
Seems we got a different sort of problem on our hands, and I reach inside of my toolbox and pull out a crossbow.
Bless the Minotaur.
Gotcha. So yeah, I guess we're back to Scott.
Stab and like headbutt. Like at this point, I'm just banging my head.
Do it.
Just roll damage again.
Yep, just roll damage.
Someone's skull is gonna break first.
10 points of damage.
The wyvern is very not happy. It lets out a angry shriek of discontent and fury. And it's like wildly trying to snap around and hit you back.
Okay.
So we will say, now that he knows you're there.
Miss.
Very well. He does not find purchase because the angle is very awkward. That brings us to who is after Scott?
Decca?
Decca? He's still watching?
Yeah. How far is this? How far is it off?
Yeah, let's see. What's realistic here for that?
Well, if the rope was 50 feet.
Yeah. We'll say he's less than 50 feet.
Maybe like 30? Is that...
Sure.
Because he has to wrap around and it be tied to something.
I'm just going to firebolt the dragon or the wyvern.
Yeah. Yeah, do it.
Light him up.
Light him up. That's a hit. 5 damage?
Yep.
Nice. Again, with the...
Watch the rope.
loud screeching clang.
The wind
And,
calms just enough for that to echo across to you.
Man, I just really want to be that guy who says, roll a D100 and see if the rope catched on fire.
Not yet. Let us have this.
I'm not yet. That's fine. That brings us back to our ballisters.
Oh, yeah.
You remember what you're doing?
Load and fire.
Nope, this time you get to fire. Are you ready for it? You remember what you're doing?
Yeah.
All right.
16 to hit.
That's a hit.
And
You're going for the same one you shot at before, right?
yes, 29 points. That's way better. 29 points of damage.
There we go.
It is. So that ballista bolt literally does sink deep into some skin there behind the rear leg.
But it's what?
Blah, 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 blah. Like basically, you were like inches from his tail crevice.
All right.
Oh.
Still up?
I shouldn't be drinking while we play. Hold on.
You definitely should be drinking while we play.
No, because I keep laughing at all the puns, innuendos. You're right. I'm just going to keep it up. Who cares?
Isn't that why we say them? So you laugh?
Huh?
So isn't why that's why we say them? So you laugh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Terry is still here. Sorry, Terry. I thought you vanished already. So coming back up through from the hold is Bosun Silver, and he's got like 5 crossbows, like heavy crossbows loaded in his hands. And he tosses 2 on the deck in there, and he says, "Let's go, lollygaggers! We're under attack!" And he continues running back up to the top side, and he looks around. He sees Decca, and he says, "Decca!"
Everybody just froze.
No.
There we go.
Yay!
Yay! Who
How
jinxed
much of that did you guys hear?
Nothing.
Deca, and then it froze.
daggers?
Okay. So basically, Silver got topside with a bunch of crossbows, heavy crossbows, and he yelled Deca, and he threw one his way because he just assumes that anyone can use a heavy crossbow.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just like looking at it.
And he's also going to yell for our scholar in the back that here's one for you too, and he tosses one to Note. And then he's going to post up because that's pretty much the extent of his turn. Probably abused it a little bit. But hey, your arm.
Well, it's a good thing I've got such a great dex score. At least it's not a negative.
Right?
Unlike my strength. Don't ask me to heavy lift anything.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'll pick it up and play around with it to see if I can load it and figure it out, since I'm not exactly proficient with it. But I assume it's not my turn to actually do anything yet.
I should be doing a better job of keeping track of turns. I don't know who we did last. I think we did Becca last, so that went...
After Becca, it goes to Terry, and then it's back to...
Terry, are you still with us, or did you have to bounce? Because I know you said top of the hour you had to disappear.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm going to be there now. Thank you guys for playing.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye!
Bye.
Do you guys want to keep going since we started late, or do you want to call it a night?
I would like to keep. I would like to kill this wyvern before, like, I would like to get unstuck before.
That's fair.
You know I'm
You should
not
have thought about that.
for like 6 hours anyway, so it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, right? All right, so I guess we'll say Terry's down below with those guys, and we'll go back to
James.
James.
Peek my head out the hole. Do I see a wyvern going?
Sure, you see another one strafing by.
Try to peg it with the crossbow.
Yeah? Give her a shot. Are you shooting at the one that has Scott stuck to the side of it, or the other one?
Shooting at whichever one comes by.
They're both viable targets at the moment.
The one that doesn't have Ray on it.
Okay.
So 12 to hit.
That does not hit. Your bolt kind of scrolls off to the side. You did not account for the heavy winds.
Darn.
I know. All right, so moving back topside, I think that puts us at... Wow, Scott.
I'm pretty sure we know what I'm doing because
Do it.
Minimum damage. I'm probably getting tired at this point. It's really high up.
Yep.
The wind is buffeting.
I probably should make you do a constitution check to make sure you're getting enough oxygen, but we'll let that slide today. And that brings us to Miss Becca.
Okay, loading the ballista unless I'm able to fire already.
That's right, you're loading. Shane, are you helping reload that?
Unless I can see a wyvern to shoot it.
I mean, you can, so you just have to choose which one you're going to do.
I'll help reload.
You want to be support character?
Becca, yes,
Yeah.
our food is here.
Sweet, thank you.
And then Chris.
I guess I'm going to try out this crossbow that I have in my hand. Since he gave it to me, I feel obligated to try it. And I'm going to shoot at the one that has Ray on it.
Okay.
And I do not.
You did not. No.
No.
Definitely did not.
I was confused.
At least you didn't hit me.
It's true. So we're going to squirrel around there. Silver is going to take a shot. Because, you know, he gets to do things sometimes too, right?
Occasionally.
He did not hit either. In fact,
Oh,
the
Lord.
string on his crossbow snaps.
He shot himself in the foot. He's now.
kinda
What
looks
happens
this
when you don't
like-
need maintenance on your weapons?
He just looks at this and says, "Fucking Orzhov," and he throws the thing into the wind.
And if he's kind of close by, I'll give him mine because I'm like,
He brought up a bunch, so he's literally just going to pick up another one to shoot. So that brings us back around. Mr. James.
Shoot another wyvern, I guess.
Do it. Which
Doing
one
it. One with Ray on it this time. Maybe I'll have better luck.
Don't roll a 1.
There.
Nice.
Do-do-do-do.
Very nice, very nice. So a bolt definitely gouges right into where you were stabbing, Scott. Like you see a crossbow bolt coming out of nowhere. And like into that nice soft tissue that you've been stabbing at, it sinks in there.
It's still thrashing around, though?
Oh yeah, he's still kicking.
Okay. Is it my turn?
It is.
Okay, I'm just going to grab that bolt, and I'm just going to twist as hard as I can, just digging it deeper and deeper into this thing.
I like it.
Same damage as always.
Yeah.
Max damage!
Dang.
Nice.
That thing screeches in pain so badly that like it kind of like goes back, which creates slack in the rope. And now I need a reflex save from you.
Save?
Yep. Sorry, dex save, not a reflex save.
13.
One of these days I'll stop playing 3.5. 13.
Never give up.
Never. That should be your
13.
next campaign. Should be in 3.5.
So, you start sliding, and your attempt to like grab onto that rope does not work. You may roll another reflex save. Don't fail this one.
20.
You very luckily managed to grab a hold of its foot. And you are now
do that to
hanging.
me.
You are now hanging from the wyvern's foot. You are no longer pinned, so you are free to climb on your next turn. Or attack its foot, or, you know, hang out, whatever you want to do. But you have a lot more options now, ish.
I'm so invested in the success of this one maneuver. I don't care if the whole boat goes down as long as Rehoboth gets this wyvern.
God is living the dream. This is why people play monks. Like, for this kind of thing.
Yeah.
My monk has never gotten to do anything so cool. I'm insanely jealous. My monk got murdered.
Nice. Becca, you're up.
All right. Same thing. Yeah, definitely not going for the one with that Rehoboth is dangling from, because the chance of him falling is too high.
Yeah.
That one's an 11. Pretty sure that misses.
It does miss.
Oh well.
And that brings us back to James. Or Shanna. No, Shanna. Sorry. You get to do something.
Because I didn't have to load this turn.
You didn't have to
I'll
load.
shoot my crossbow at the one Rehavot's not
By the
dangling.
coffee table, by the way.
Because, yeah.
No sense of adventure.
None at all. Not even a
No.
little bit.
You hit.
I don't know what damage. How much?
1d8 plus 2, I think. Right?
Or
That's not right.
it's a heavy or
Yeah, it's a heavy.
1d10.
Ooh.
Thank you. I get to re-roll my shit. Is it 1d10 plus... Yeah. A little better.
Look back over there now. 6.
Do-do-do-do.
I'm gonna have my birds and chili fries, and then I'm gonna hand it to you.
Aw.
Okay.
I had bacon cheese waffle fries. Okay.
I had rum.
Nice. James.
Gonna take that delivering that Ray's stuck to.
No, not the one I'm stuck to.
He's not stuck anymore. So you
I'm
will have seen
dangling
it.
off of it. Please don't.
Yeah. You will have seen that thing like reacted in pain, like the wings kind of went in, so it like would have fallen if it didn't have enough speed, and it slowed down. The rope went slack, and your friend just kind of dropped out of the rope, kind of doing one of these things as he fell, and managed to grab a hold of the thing's leg right above the foot.
That's the
You're welcome.
spirit, Ray. Hang in there. Taking a shot at the other wyvern, then.
That's courteous of you. That's a hit.
12 damage.
Then I try to follow where the line is connected to the ship. Like try to see where it's.
Topside, but the wyvern is no longer bullied.
Ah. That is a problem. I start running up topside then.
Roger Dodger. Chris.
So is the rope still on the wyvern?
It was just
Nope.
that.
How far is he away?
Probably like 20 feet now.
Can I mage hand the rope to him?
I was
who?
just gonna do that if you didn't. You're
To
psych.
Ray? Just
I mean, yeah.
mage hand the rope to him so he
Sure,
can grab a hold of it.
that far. Yeah.
I just tied around his
It
waist.
goes that far? Absolutely.
Tied around his waist for him. That's literally, I was going to ask on our turn instead of loading and be like, can I, is this... Do it.
Yeah, so I do that. I mage hand the rope to him.
Okay. Are you actually tying it around him, or is it just like floating beside him?
If he's got his hands busy, I'll tie it around his waist.
Exit stage backwards.
Yoink.
Right? That's where that might end up heading. Scott.
Okay, so rope is effectively tied around me.
Okay.
Right? So that's...
Unless you bat it away, sure.
Well, I grab it. Like, I don't know. Like,
Okay.
it's more effective to hold on to it for this. So, how close is the hole that the Minotaur is at? Can I see it from where I'm at?
Yes. So let me bring this back up here. So, let's see, the third section back that's well lit.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I can click on that, can't I? Yes,
Yep.
exactly. That's about where the hole is.
And then I'm like forward.
And you're like 25 feet off the front of the ship.
Okay, sweet. Because
Yeah.
that's helpful for me. I'm 25 feet from the deck. Okay, so that's actually
Like you're like, wow, this is way different when you're the GM. It wants me to do things. I just want to make a bubble thing. Go away.
Bad. You're not allowed.
Okay, it's doing weird things. Oh, screw your roll 20. Sure. Maybe I can pick a different tool. I don't know. How do I make a bubble thing?
You just click and hold. You make sure you have the,
Now it wants me to like manipulate the object when I do
the
that.
select move tool.
Select move tool.
Oh, it's because you have a don't worry about it. I can do this theater of the mind. I'm good.
Okay. Yeah.
I have
that's what
plenty of speed, so that's not actually a problem.
Sure.
So I'm going to using my action and actually make an attack roll because I'm now no longer pinned to this thing.
I like it.
So let me actually do this.
Its AC is only 13, so
Okay.
should be all right.
I'll find out. It doesn't really matter. I just, because of my mobile feat, I'm able to... 12, so I missed. However, that's fine. He still can't take an attack of opportunity from me because of my mobile feat.
Sure.
So I am going to then swing away from him and then use my 50 feet of movement to go climb back up on deck.
Top side?
Or
Not
the
the
hole,
hole.
whatever one's closer to me to actually.
Which one are you aiming for?
I'll say the hole. I'll be like, what's
Okay.
the mentor's name again?
Gallus.
Galeth, catch! And I'm going to just swing toward him.
So Galeth, you see him kind of like spinning off of the wyvern and looping and coming back your way.
Chuck crossbow into toolbox and just kind of stand there like waiting for him to come in.
Yeah, and I'll just jump into his waiting arms.
Okay, we'll say that was able to be deftly pulled off in the realm of funness.
Don't worry, little buddy, I got you.
And the two are now laying on the ground hugging.
Yeah.
And it was on fire mere minutes ago.
I'm going to be like so happy I'm safe, but also that was really fun. Where's my hat? Oh, the bard has it. I need to go find
Where's
it.
my hat? Oh.
So that wyvern, now
no.
free of its extra passenger and the rope, like kind of starts arcing up, very vertical. And Becca, you're up.
Okay, so I kind of lost a little bit of track. Is this the round that I get to fire again, or am I loading again?
Sure. Whatever, it's getting late.
Whatever you want. What is your
It's
heart?
Alright.
getting late. It's getting
25
late.
to hit!
That definitely is a hit.
Awesome. 15 points of damage.
15 points of damage it is.
That means I get to shoot again.
It does.
Yay! I'm so effective.
So the other one, I have to roll. You hear claws raking against the hull on the other side of the ship, but it does not sound to the engineers like the hull was punctured again.
Cool.
And that brings us to Miss Shayna.
I'm gonna shoot at whatever one is nearest. I'm not sure which one right now.
Okay, you're on top, so like you literally could pick any side to shoot down.
I'll
Whichever
shoot
one looks worse.
So
Yeah,
the one that
whichever-
was fighting Scott is now arcing in a vertical up.
that
The other
one.
one just tried to strafe along the side of the ship and did not pierce the hull.
I'll do the one going up.
All right, do it.
I'm not doing anything.
You did not, in fact, hit it.
I get a nice big ol' hit and nothing.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. All right, Mr. Gruel.
Oh,
Mr.
God damn it.
Mr. Who?
I just
Sorry.
realized that
Our
now
Minotaur
Scott's
friend,
on
whose name I
Smash.
butchered apparently.
Set Reavoth down, pick up toolbox, and say, we need to get up top. Holds down hat, and goes off.
Yeah. Fair enough. So you get topside, and you see there are still some armed crossbows on the deck. Silver is about to pick one up and take another shot. But otherwise, you see what's been going on. Yeah. So we will say, whoa, hey, hello, cool screen. Hey, Silver actually did something.
Yay!
Silver shot at that one shooting straight vertical, and he did some damage. Two. And that was... Fair enough. That brings us back to Mr. Chris.
How far is the one going up vertical? How far is it away?
Let's see. What's their movement here? Fly speed is 80 feet. It started out below, so we'll say probably like, 40 feet?
40 feet? How
Yeah.
hard does it look?
It's not happy.
You must be on the background layer instead of
guess.
the
I don't know
token
what's
layer.
happening. I'm going to have to figure that stuff out eventually.
I'm the one that's arcing up. I'm going to cast sleep on it.
Okay. Does that require... How does sleep even work? I don't even know.
It's
So you
just
do
a
what?
Sphere. 28, and if its total hit points are below that, it's asleep.
Yeah, so that wyvern totally just went unconscious.
Oh
And is
no.
now plummeting towards you.
Towards
no.
me?
It's above.
Towards the deck, yes.
I'm moving out of the way.
Are you warning anybody?
I'll be like,
Scott,
why
you're not
would-
talking into your mic or you got disconnected.
No, I was muted. Is this the one that like I was pinned to this entire time? Because this is gonna
Yes.
be really funny.
Yes, it is.
Run up and punch its unconscious body.
Well,
please.
no, I'm imagining it's plummeting to it, and as I said, I'm really fast, and so my turn would be spent dashing up there. So I just imagine like it crashing down. My character like popping out.
Don't worry, I got it. I got it.
Minotaur is going to catch this large dragon on a line. Oh
yeah,
my.
but I'll warn everybody. I'll be
Yeah.
like pointing at it.
So I'm going to say basically at the end of this round, it's going to hit the deck, barring something stopping it. So
Like
that
a
moves us on to after James, Chris.
I'm at the top of the round, so
Yeah. So I think Scott's up.
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So I would pop out.
So you get topside and you see this thing like coming down, and it doesn't look like it's a controlled dive.
This feels like deja vu, and I'm just gonna grab whoever is closest to me. That's probably not the Minotaur because he's way bigger than me. Probably either the Warforged Diviner or not Silver. Fuck him.
Yeah, because the other two were on the back at the ballista.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab like as soon as I pop out because I'm dashing. I'm gonna grab Silver and just like not even like go with him. Just throw him below deck and get ready to I don't know. Rising uppercut Street Fighter style.
Yes. Yeah, I need descriptions and reference pictures because that will be what I draw.
Becca, you're up.
All right.
And the entire time I'm like, where the fuck is my hat? Because that's the last.
All
On the
right.
other side of the deck, I feel like. Oh,
May I fire again?
Sure.
why not?
Which one are you shooting at? The one that's unconscious or the other one?
The other one.
Okay,
19 to hit.
that's a hit.
23 points of damage.
Awesome. That ballista bolt like impales through this thing's ribcage. Like you see it go in one side and it comes out the bone fragments and all sorts of crap in the wind, but it's still moving.
Hardy bastards.
Barely. What's up, Shanna?
I just had a question when it was my turn.
Okay, well, there's the wyvern and then there's you.
Okay.
So roll 1d8 7. Wow, I'm in the wrong window. See,
I was like, oh, who's sending something in Discord? Oh.
nope. All right. So this time it actually does find purchase on the side of the hull. And we're going to go with 2d8 plus 4. And all the engineer-minded people will definitely hear the sound of claws puncturing hull and ripping off a huge chunk on the opposite side of the skyship this time.
Good times, good times.
Yep. And you will hear the engineers to the starboard side. Engineers to the starboard side. Of Captain Flint calling for assistance as there is now yet another hole in his shiny boat. Shayna.
Yes, so the way Featherfall works,
Yep.
this is a wyvern careening towards the deck.
Uh-huh.
If I cast Featherfall on him, I know that it negates the damage that he would take, but would it also negate the damage of when he hits deck?
I think so, because you're completely arrested their fall.
That's what I thought. So I'm going to... I mean, how far away am I from that whole scene?
I mean, it's not going to hit you directly because you're in the back, and this is happening closer to the front.
Well, I mean, am I close enough to run up? I mean, it's 60 feet range.
Mm-hmm.
So would I be close enough to run up and cast?
You can do it from where you're at.
Okay, then I'll do that. And since it's up to...
it's literally about to hit.
Yeah.
As soon as your
Like
turn
at the
ends,
last
like
second.
it's gonna hit.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Which feels more theatrical and fitting. But
Sure.
yeah, that.
So you're
Just
gonna
try and help negate any damage.
featherfall it?
Yeah. Maybe
Okay.
ingratiate myself a little bit to the captain, who doesn't seem to appreciate me very much. And my lack of useful abilities for being on the ship.
Doesn't say anything about having to be willing or anything. So yeah, okay. You completely arrest the thing's fall.
I was going to do that to everyone else who was on the site, but it says that you already have to be a falling creature.
Mhm.
But no fun. Anyway,
Okay.
yeah. So I'll
So,
Featherfall.
Miraculously, like moments before it would have hit someone's upraised fist that he was prepping for his uppercut, the wyvern kind of...
It's a reaction. Like, I'm sure you were getting this.
Yeah. But it's not quite your turn yet, so like...
Yeah.
I'm slowing down the target.
This out here.
Yeah.
It's a more stable target. It's easier to hit.
Right?
Less likely to break your arm.
Yep.
With a spoon.
So that brings us back to James.
Punch it.
A plumber's work is never done. And runs down back into the ship and over to the starboard side.
I love it. Give me a tool check. See if you can put out the fires.
Minotaur after my own heart.
I just want to rename him Mario.
I know, right? Mario the Minotaur.
So,
Didn't go so well.
no, it didn't. Yeah. So when you went to try and reproduce your tactic that worked on the other side for the coolant leak, you actually ignite coolant when you tap into the pipe, and you make the fire worse.
Huh.
Maybe that pipe wasn't in fact coolant.
Oops.
I'm bringing
amazing
it down
plumber.
with no dice.
Chris, you're up.
All right, what's going on in front of me with the dragon?
It was plummeting to almost land on top of you. However, its fall was arrested, and it is now feather falling. You would recognize the effect.
All right,
Of the fall spell.
is it going to wake up when it hits when it lands, or am I
Probably
safe?
wake up when I punch it.
Yeah, if left unmolested, I'm pretty sure the sleep spell would let it maintain its sleeping state.
Until
Well, I'm going to let. I don't know. It's going to be punched. So I want
not
to
molest
look at
the
the other one. And how far is the other one away?
Within 80 feet. No more than, probably less. because it just did a strafing run down the right-hand side of the ship.
All right, I'm going to firebolt it.
Starboard side. Fireball! Fireball! Why? I hate Chrome. That's a hit. Sorry, now that I finally got everything clear again.
That is not good.
My expectation that you would be finishing it did not, in fact, come true. So, it continues smoking on past you. And that brings us back to Mr. Scott with the Arukit moment that you've been waiting for.
Yeah, Sharyuken. I should have advanced because it's asleep, right?
Oh, sure, yeah. And feather falling. Like, as far as I'm concerned, it's like a punching bag just waiting there for a well-practiced boxer.
You're welcome.
You say that, but that's when I'm going to miss because, Oh, I didn't. That's a 24 to hit. And
Yep, you hit.
It's incapacitated and helpless, so that's an instant crit.
Yep.
Punch its head right off.
Yeah, you really don't even have to roll the damage if you don't want. You feel the skull caving in. Like,
Okay. I will go ahead and use my
100%
bonus
like-
action. Like, I know it's dead, but I am also going to, as
Why
like
not?
crack across it, I'm also going to use my bonus action to then do like a falling elbow drop onto the back of its neck, too.
So, if anybody had any dreams of taxidermying this wyvern, they are forever ruined. Because that head is now completely unrecognizable as a wyvern head.
Nope, I just want the hide and possibly if it has a stinger to get the poison from the stinger.
Sure.
Note is unfortunately not interested.
So that's one wyvern down.
Mm-hmm.
Not that Dahlia wouldn't love to get a bit of that, but
That brings us to Miss Becca.
All right. If I'm able, I'm going to try to kill the other one.
Go for it.
18 to hit,
That's a hit.
20 points of damage.
Yep. So that next ballista bolt basically rips out the other side of that thing's ribs, and it goes into a twisting spiral, and its rider leaps off. And you just see the two of them just going together and are lost in the clouds beneath you.
Bye.
So, the conclusion of that immediate encounter, do you guys want to call it a night now?
Yeah, after I retrieve my hat from the bard.
yeah, I was gonna say it's irrelevant. But as I walk up and hand him the hat, real
Sure.
quick minor illusion in 8-bit recreation of Rio jumping up and punching him in the head.
Well, for the record, the ship is still descending at a fairly...
And on fire, right?
That's not
On
relevant
fire.
right now,
But
though.
We're
we
not
can-
the
we can worry about
plumbers.
that next
There's
week.
only one plumber.
Yeah, and we can worry about that next week. I mean,
Yeah, we'll worry about that later.
I'm gonna tip in.
What
You know,
matters
you
is
never
he thought to jump on a wyvern and punch it to death. Which is
What's really funny is that the entire aerial encounter I decided like 20 minutes before the game to include.
Nice.
Yeah, I was worried that the encounter that comes after this would go too quickly, and then we would be bored for tonight. So I injected this, and it took like the entire evening, and that worked
love
out.
You know how this works. This is what always happens.
I know.